Hi, I'm Claire and this is my husband Nick. We met in an online chat room in 2001 and ended up getting married in 2006. We're a fairly normal, hard-working couple. We love travelling and enjoying a drink or two. In early 2020, we decided we wanted a whole new life-changing challenge. So we said goodbye to our jobs. We sold our Wiltshire farmhouse. We packed up our things and made the move to France. In early 2001, I went back to the UK to finalise our house sale and pick up my Aga. I was on Facebook on an Escape to the Chateau fan club page when I saw this advert. I messaged Nick the advert. Curiosity got the better of him and he went and arranged a viewing. With the instructions from me, I trust your judgment. If you think I'll like it, put in an offer. The offer was accepted and we finally got the keys on the 10th of June 2021. Join us and our dogs, Merlot and Flora, as we renovate our Maison de Maitre. What an amazing place to start a week. Brico shop. We've now been in here for an hour. Great start to the week. The traffic cone behind me is €12.90, which I think is a blatant rip-off. If you're drunk enough, you can go and pick one of these up anywhere on a Friday night in the UK for free. 2 trolleys and an hour and a half later. And he's just said to me, oh, I'm just popping into the other Brico part shop next door. The amount of grief I get if I go into more than one shop, this is just not worth it. It's not. It's not fair. At least when I leave him outside the shop, it's normally sat in the car in comfort. Nope, I've just been abandoned here.
So a job which isn't immediately obvious when you look at it, but a job that needs doing, that I need to connect up all the waste pipes for it, and then I can get the water turned on and hopefully that'll all work fine. Still need to get a drawer handle sorted out. It arrived without a screw, but anyway. Yeah, time to get this basin plumbed in. Okay, well I've just filled up the basin from a bucket of water. Seems to be holding absolutely fine there. And looking underneath, well, it goes out through that white bottle trap there. Let's see what happens when I empty the plug. Well, that's good. It's all gone from the basin and doesn't appear to have flooded across the floor. It's a bit tricky with this one because there's not a lot of room at the back of the drawer. But I'm confident. Let me just stick the hand in there. Yeah, that's all dry. Bone dry. Brilliant. I'm confident that that is not going to leak. So I can have a go at connecting up the taps. So there you have it. Apart from the missing handle, that basin is fitted. As is the mirror, as is the toilet, as is the radiator, as is the shower. Need to get a bit of glass for along here. I think once we get electricity in here, it would be really handy to have the lighting on and heating and things like that. But apart from that, I think it's looking quite smart.
It's a bit of a cold and frosty morning here. I think this is the coldest it's been so far this winter. However, I've decided to come out today, and before it does get any colder, I'm going to go around the garden and I'm going to wrap up any plants in plant fleece so that they don't get frozen and die. No, poor plants. I have one of my assistants here in her jumper, Flora May. You look lovely today. And my other assistant is over here just ensuring that the gravel is okay. Merlot, is that right? So the first one is this tiny mimosa tree that we planted earlier this year. Seems to actually be even coming into flower, which is really bizarre. I'm kind of taking no risks with some of the things that I'm covering. At the front of the Maison de Maître that goes on to Rue Principale, where we planted all of these hydrangeas earlier in the year. They were, I think, about 350 euros, and I don't want to lose them and have to replace them. So all of these are now covered over, ready for winter, and I think Mello's just inspecting them. I've also managed to get everything around this corner, including the mimosa, now covered. So fingers crossed everything will be okay over winter. Quick job, needed doing. I'm in the temporary dining room in the Maison de Maître today, and I have a huge tub of filler, and I'm going to go round the walls. I think I may have some help from Nick later, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to fill in all of the holes like this. Look at this gouge. And then once all of the holes have been filled, I'm going to leave them to dry, and then hopefully this week sand the walls. Fingers crossed.
Okay, well, I'm back in the former billiards room where I fitted the power sockets. I've just made up a little batch of plaster because above the fireplace here there's a little patch of plaster missing. So I'm going to do my best to get that filled. Oops, there's a couple of other little bits that need filling in here as well. Well, I was asked to do that little bit that I've done, but then I touched a bit of wall next to it, and cracking job. So I'm going to work my way up there and get that filled. I'm going to let that go off a little bit now. It's quite a deep crack actually to try and fill.
A good few hours later, and 3/4 of a tub of filler. I think I've filled nearly every possible hole that I can fill without replastering the whole wall with filler. I'm going to leave this to set tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to begin with sanding the walls. It's also getting quite cold in here now, which isn't particularly pleasant. Yeah, watch this space.
So I'm back in the Jeet, and today I'm going to be making the loft hatch, getting some kind of covering in there to insulate it, and I have just cut 4 bits of wood, 2 long, 2 short, and cut the ends at 45 degrees. So I'm going to stick those to provide the surround to the loft hatch. So here goes. It's amazing actually, now there's only this hole and the hole for where I need to put the air conditioning thing in. amazing how much you can feel the cold air coming down through there. So the rest of the room, the insulation is really working both on the walls and the ceiling. God, it's quite a draft coming down here. Ooh. So I've done the surround bit of wood. There's a bit of overhang here, so I'll be able to cut a board the size of the opening and drop it down, and it will be supported by those 4 bits of wood. So yeah, got to go and cut some wood to that size now. Whee! Right, well, it's not a bit of wood, it's a bit of old plasterboard that I've just cut to size and just illustrate how it's going to be when I make it out of wood, if I do make it out of wood. I haven't got a bit of wood suitable here today. I'm not making a special Brico trip to do it, but anyway, old bit of plasterboard offcut should illustrate quite neatly. So straight away the draft is gone.
Hello and welcome back to the temporary dining room. Today all of my filling has gone off, so it's time to start sanding in here. Now I'm going to give it a light sanding because I fear that if I give it a harsh sanding that huge chunks of plaster could actually fall off the walls. This could cause a problem, not necessarily for me but more for Nick. So I'm just going to take it nice and steady. It's unusual because up to, you can see where the lights are, below the lights has been more where I've needed to fill the walls. Anything above the lights, believe it or not, is actually fairly smooth already, and that kind of counts for the whole room. I don't know whether it's been a case of where I've scraped it a little too hard. I tried not to because it gouged the wall out. Anyway, enough wittering, time for some sanding. Woohoo! Would just like to say that yesterday in here I had a sander and an Alexa ready to start the day with, but both seem to have disappeared. I wonder who could have them. So very quickly I've just done like a test patch, and I'm gutted because it's just basically ripped the blooming, I'll show you. So this is a patch of the wall that's relatively smooth, and this is just what the sander's just done. It's just gouged. Oh dear. Back at it after trial and error number 1, and I've found my sander, woohoo! And I've been and found some finer sandpaper, and it's actually working, and it's coming up quite nice. I don't want to mess this up. I want to get this sanded until it's as smooth as possibly can be, and then I'm going to paint it with a special white renovation paint, which I think also kind of smooths and level things out slightly, because the final paint I'm going in for with this room is farrow and ball. And if you know the words farrow and ball, you know the words it's not cheap comes into the equation, and I'd rather do this properly and do it once. Half an hour in, and it's actually going really well. It's coming out really well, but I don't really want to say any more about how really well it's going because it'll go wrong. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now. It's also great because it's taking the years of mouldy damp off. So I've done one patch, just the rest of the room to go. It's really dusty as well. Yeah. I'm glad I've got the mask on.
So we've had notification from our electrician. He'll be coming in 2 or 3 days' time to connect up the consumer unit here in the gîte, and yeah, that'll be really welcome, being able to have good lighting and everything else connected up anyway. So today's job, I'm going round and, well, there's a finished socket, but there's some unfinished sockets. So I'm just going round connecting up everything, which will leave me enough time if I need any other bits to go out shopping in the next couple of days to get those bits and finish that off. So there you have it. One socket down and plenty more to go, so that's all the sockets wired in. Just got the fascia plates to put on, but I'll leave that until I've done the painting in here. Yeah, that's a good bit further forward today. Quite pleased with that.
I'm slowly making my way around the bottom half of the room first. I've got to these two walls here, and they're a bit harder to do because of where the billiards table was in here, and people have played billiards. Obviously, the backs of the sticks have knocked up against the walls. And this wall that I'm about to do, this was the main culprit for those tiny little dinks in the wall. Anyway, crack on. Quickly, just to give you an idea of how much dust this is making. Look at the mantelpiece. Brilliant. It's looking smooth. That's what we want. I've decided just to have a quick Henry Hoover up. Yeah, it's getting a bit too dusty now, even for a building site. I just can't. Yeah, I'm sliding in dust. I've now just finished my little clean round. It may not look like very much, but I've taken up an incredible amount of dirt and dust. I've decided I'm going to call it quits for tonight. I am Dust Woman. Yeah, I want to go in the shower, and I'm the fun one who still has like the washing, the cooking, the cleaning to do. So yeah, calling it quits for tonight. Let's get back on it tomorrow. Good progress though. Flora, time to wake up. Come on, time to get out of bed. Got work to do today.
Today's project, now I've had a good tidy up, as you can tell, cleared it all out. I'm going to get sanding. I don't know how long it will take me. Shouldn't be too bad because it's just a very light sanding. Once I've done that, I can then get on with a second coat of all the filling of the joints in here. So yeah. Well, that's not a good start. My special plasterboard sander doesn't seem to be working. There must be a loose connection somewhere in the wiring because it got bleh, bleh, bleh a couple of times, but it's not working. So I think that's going to have to get back to the shop. I can't hang around all day waiting, so I'm going to have to use one of my other sanders to get this job done. Yeah, I've got to get this done today.
Today is going to be day 2 of sanding walls. I will be sanding around the top of the walls today because I did the bottom yesterday. I'm just letting the room warm up first. I've got one of these little portable heaters in here just to take the chill off before I start. Because eventually I will open the windows because of the amount of dust this is creating. I'm really pleased with what I did yesterday, and they're coming up really, really well. There is still the odd tiny dink in little places on the walls, but you've got to be really fickle to point that out. It is an old house, it's not a new build. It retains some of its character.
The result is coming out okay. It's smoothing out quite nicely. This is the most important corner of the room because this is where the bed's going to be, and in the morning people are going to be lying just focusing on the ceiling as they're coming to, and I don't want that ceiling to be looking bad, so I need to make sure this particular area is perfect. Actually, I'm going to try and make sure everything is as good as I can make it in this place.
Welcome to the top of the scaffolding. You will see the ceiling has cobwebs on it and now silver from all of the dust. I shall not be keeping this as a Christmas decoration. Oh, it's you again. Hello. He comes every time I move something. He comes in to check on me. He comes in to see if I'm making progress.
Not being funny, darling. I haven't done dusting for a while, have you?
Oh.
Let's leave you to it.
I'd start running. You're lucky that I'm up here.
Admit it. It's a good look. Anyhow, yeah, done a lot of sanding in here. Just going to go around again and make sure I've done everything, but I think that is all the high spots rubbed down. So I've had a good tidy up in here. Just have a look at that nice, clean, shiny floor. Anyway, enough of that. So yeah, I've got rid of a lot of the dust from the room here. I've had a look at the ceiling and the walls. where the plasterboard is shallower along its sides for jointing, that's where I've put the tape in and I've gone over it, and I'm going over it again because it's a bit thin, so it needs more filler basically. Otherwise, pretty much the room is done, with the exception of that little area there that I'm going to come back to that. So anyway, at the moment I'm just filling again along the ceiling. So there we go. I think I've now filled everywhere that I want to. So like before, let it go off for another day or two. Then I'll be back in here and give it one final light sand. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with my progress today, so happy days.
This is the face of somebody who has achieved. This is the face of somebody who has finally finished sanding the walls of this room. Yes, I have. I have conquered. I have finished. I have made progress. I've actually made the room bigger by sanding it so much. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee and wash the goo out of my mouth. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to give it a really, really good clean. Woohoo! Winning. Stood here at the moment with the lights off because the switch is somewhere over there. But I'm all finished in this room now for today. I've brushed the walls down to get rid of the dust. I've gone around everywhere with the hoover and I've mopped the floor. And I'm ready for my next day in here. Another day done. And progress. Woohoo! Hello? Flora, have you been on the table? Have you been on the table overnight? And have you eaten something? What did you eat, Flora? So, of course, this year again, we bought the dogs an advent calendar each. Alright, Flora has managed to get on the table during the night and has actually eaten part of our advent calendar. Oh no, you've had one from there, and you got into Christmas Day and you nibbled the wrapper of Christmas Days. I would seek revenge on you by eating your advent calendar, but I don't like dog food. Well done, Flora.
Hi, and welcome to Wine of the Week. And again, we got wine.
Yay! And we got something different this week. We have a white wine.
This is a Gavi from Italy. And you can't really find wine like this on the supermarket shelves in France. We haven't had a look in any off licenses. I actually bought that one from England in my most recent trip there.
Yes, and it's one of my favourites, so I'm quite pleased we're having this evening. So, this one's actually really easy as well because it's a screw top. Saying that now, it won't come off, will it? Ooh, it's not as satisfying as a cork pop, is it?
In theory, it should be a bit quicker though.
Well, yes.
Anyway, hope that you've enjoyed this week's episode. I think we've made an awful lot of progress, and I'm really happy with where we are now, and looking forward to finishing off more work for next week.
I think I've done really well so far with the temporary dining room, and I'm looking forward to getting back in there tomorrow. Yay! Anyway,
if you've enjoyed this week's episode, please click the like button, and if you haven't already subscribed, please could you do that?
Yay! And you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter, all on our website at
www.theexpatbutchers.com.
Cheers.
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 Ooh.
That's nice.
Ooh. Well done, Italy.
See you next Sunday. Cheers.
Bye.